Yep. A little tad too many. That would be 155 hours. And I'm sure there's some hours that I didn't turn the clock on because sometimes I don't even want to know how much time I got in the car, put it that way, because I get discouraged because every hour I put into it more and more, the less money I make. But I guess that's part of life sometimes. I got a learning curve for you. I learned, and I thought I knew, or no, I ain't gonna say I thought I knew. I thought I knew a lot about bodywork, but apparently I don't really know as much as I thought I did. Anyway, this Merca dry guide coat, I never used to use it. One thing I like it, but I don't. I don't like this because you can't really get it out of the concrete pores. I guess you would have to mop it out. I don't know. But then again, it's really good to, it fills in this where the scratches are, if there's scratches, which there shouldn't be, but there is. Anyway, when the last video when I said I was done with it, I wiped the whole car, blew the whole car down, and then I used, actually it works pretty good. To tell you the truth, I bought it at Harbor Freight. It's one of the few things that are, you know, you can't really complain about the price and everything. These micro exterior car duster, they're like that. Once you blow the car off, in my experience, you always have a real fine mist that just clings to the car. So anyway, I dusted the whole car off, and it worked pretty good. It was worth, I don't know, whatever I paid for it. Then I started alcohol wiping it, and I'm usually pretty good about getting all the scratches out, but apparently I'm not that good as I used to think I was. Because I did the whole car, it took a good part of the day. Then I got over here and I was getting to the end, and I could feel, the more I kept cleaning with alcohol and water, and I felt like I could feel dirt on it. I'm like, what the heck? There's no dirt on it. There can't be. I just wiped it. Well, I closed my eyes and I could actually go back and forth, and I could feel it. And actually what it was is I had left some, must have been 180 grit scratches. I must have not have sanded, I sanded these doors down with 180, and apparently I didn't sand it with 240 and 320. I must have missed it. So what I did is went to my go-to guy. You gotta have a wingman go-to guy. Well, actually I got two of them. Slow SRT, well no, Shut Your Face Garage, and James Freddy. I didn't know this, it's something I learned, and I'll do it from now on. I didn't realize, I always, when you prime the car, you guide coat it with spray bomb paint, primer, and you gotta let it dry, of course, but then you start sanding with 180 per se, and the paper doesn't clog that bad. But if you guide coated it, if you guide coat an area and you start sanding with like 240 or 320, it tends to clog my paper up and get those little chunks, and it irritates me. So I never guide coated in between 180, 240, and 320. I just never did, never knew. Well, I assumed that when I was going down through the grades of sandpaper, I was getting the scratches out. Apparently I was not. So I went back and guide coated it, and I basically did every panel again with the DA with the interface pad and 320, and there was quite a few scratches in it. The guide coat is kind of a mess, but it doesn't clog your paper. I like it, but I don't. But that's something that I just never knew. Should have, I guess. I'm thinking maybe that's why my clear is not laying that down that well, because I got crisscross scratches. Because my rule, my theory is, in every stage, if I crisscross my pattern, you know, your panel will be flat. Well, I'm leaving scratches, and apparently, so now what I'm doing is, once I do 180, my next stage is 240 and 320. I use DA, because that way I can see that the crisscross scratches are gone. And then after that I use just to make sure, because God, nobody wants to go back after they got paint and clear on it. I don't, because it's very disturbing to me once you get all done with all these days and weeks you put into a car, and you find that there's scratch, swelling, or whatever. It sucks. But what I did is I took a 3000 grit foam pad and I glued it together so it flexes. I think I don't know when I did it, but apparently I glued something else inside there to make it a little bit stiff. And then I went over the whole car, no, not the whole car, but everything but the roof with full 100, just to make sure. It was real discouraging, But I'm alcohol wiping it down again right now. About halfway done. And you guys, like I said, you know, I still gotta pull the trunk off and do this. I'm not really don't know how I got all that figure planned out or whatever. I got clear for this. When in doubt, whip the purple duct tape out. I've been getting paid for my Taurus. That's a good thing. The man's sending money through payment center at Walmart. So basically, come on, shut the light up. There you go. So basically, I don't know. I'm balling on a budget over here, okay? I'm picking shit with the chickens, okay? I watch where my money goes. Some people don't, that's okay. I'm not mad, not hating, not nothing. I'm just saying it costs them $8 to send $100 every week. That's 8%. Add that up, you know, $100 a week times what? Just say 4 weeks. That's $32. That's like finding $32 on the ground. I'd be happier who done it. I found $32 on the ground. I might go to Popeye's Chicken. Shit, who knows? I don't know. It blows my mind that people are willing to. Don't they have checking accounts, people? You write a check, you put a 47-cent stamp on it, and send the rascal. That's cheaper than I guess nowadays people gotta have their money right now. Don't save for a rainy day, but it rains quite often in life. Oh, there's my ma. Got a robe on. She's 78. She's cut the choke. Got her slippers on. She's still getting around. It's pretty nippy out there too. Oh, smoke a cigarette, ma. She's still patrolling her yard. That's my mom. I love her to death. My dad used to he'd always shop for cars at night, because when I was a kid they would have these hulas, and then they have all these light bulbs hanging where the hulas are, so it would light up the whole parking lot. And my dad always shopped at night because he'd have to deal with no salesman or anything. So if he found a car that he wanted, he'd roll up in here, he'd have all the information on it because he had already looked it over more than once. Crawl up underneath it and the whole shebang. Maybe that's where I get it from. My dad would crawl right up underneath these new vehicles. And then, you know, he'd go in and say, you know what, I like this truck, but I don't want those rims. I want the rims and tires off the truck next to it, taken off and putting on here. And they would do it, because my dad would buy a new truck every 3 to 4 years, because his philosophy was, if he's going to work, he's got to have a good, dependable truck, make it to work to get that money. But anyway, it brings back good memories. Because I can remember just being a little kid, about, I don't know, 8, 9 years old, and just walking and looking at all the cars. I just remember all the lights and the hulas, and it was warm outside. It'd be in the summertime. My dad said, don't never buy no car in the wintertime because you can't tell what it looks like. You can't tell if something's dripping from it or leaking from it. A lot of times if there's freezing ice on it or something, or snow, you can't tell if there's scratches or anything like that. He's pretty much right. Anyway, I think that's all I got to say today. Enjoy your evening. I surely will. A little 2-second not wanting to pick the tape up off the floor all the time. Works pretty decent.